to extend my warm welcome to all the present in this inaugural ceremony of this one-day international webinar on innovation and technological startups in the current crisis of COVID pandemic, organized by SSIP Cell, Saurashtra University, Rajkot. I would like to express my sincere appreciation, in particularly to our dynamic Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Nitin Pethani, Visionary Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vijay Desani, our Honorable Syndicate Member and Chief Guest of today's event. It is Dr. Mehulbhai Rupani, as well as our Registrar, Dr. Jatinbhai Soni, invited speakers who joined us today, despite of their busy schedule, not to mention all the guests, faculties and delegates. The ex-US President John Kennedy said that we must find a time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. So let's start today's inaugural session by saluting those who are putting their lives in a danger just to save us. So salute to all our Corona warriors. If we talk about today's theme, today is the 11th May. 11th May is celebrated as a National Technological Day. So technologies like TV, phones, internet, etc. are common nowadays. It has certainly improved our general living standards of many people in this last few decades. And day by day, new inventions are coming into market, and we do need this kind of invention, especially in this pandemic situation. And this is what we are going to talk about today. So to spread the limelight on today's event and to welcome all the guests, I would like to invite Dr. Mihir Rawal, Coordinator of SSIP Cell and Dean of Faculty of Pharmacy, Saurashtra University, Rajkot. Please.
Good morning, Honorable Dr. Nitin Pethani sir, our Vice Chancellor sir, Dr. Vijay Desani sir, our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor sir. Unfortunately, who have not been present due to his busy schedule, Dr. Mehul Rupani, our Honorable Syndicate Member, Nikesh Bhai and Mosmi Ben, Chintan Bhai, and all the distinguished speakers of today's international webinar. I welcome all of you from the SSIP Cell, Saurashtra University, Rajkot. Today this time is really very difficult for each and every family because of the COVID pandemic, and particularly in India as the second wave has been started and it is at the peak right now. So it is very difficult for students and innovators to work for some innovativeness and to develop some kind of devices which can be helpful to the society. So I am very much sure that today's webinar will definitely motivate those innovators who want to do something in this pandemic situation, and definitely our distinguished speakers who are really very talented and technocrats in the other sense we can say will really motivate and give one idea to the students who really want to innovate something. So with this, I again welcome all the members and all the participants from the SSIP cell of Saurashtra University. Thank you very much.
As Mihir sir said, Mehul sir is busy with his another schedule. So thank you so much, Mihir sir. But now I would like to cordially invite our Pro-VC sir, Dr. Vijay Desani, to please grace this event with his energetic words.
Good morning and namaskar. In this program of SSIP, we are celebrating today the National Technology Day, 11th May. My respected Vice Chancellor, Dr. Nitin Pethani sir, Senior Syndicate Member and Dean of Science Faculty, Dr. Mehul Rupani sir, Registrar of my university, Dr. Jatin Soni, and three eminent speakers of today's webinar. Dr. Om Prakash Sharma, Mr. Selim Ranga Reddy, and Mr. Harshal Sanghvi. Coordinator of SSIP of Saurashtra University, Dr. Mihir Raval and his team. I welcome you all on behalf of my university, Saurashtra University, in this program. First of all, my best wishes and greetings for the National Technology Day, 11th May. I would like to say something for my university. My university is the first A-grade university of Gujarat state. We have 29 departments and 2.25 lakhs students, and 250 colleges are affiliated with my university. We have the oldest science departments in state like chemistry and bioscience. We have also nanoscience, pharmacy, physics, with so many scholars. 5,000 students have passed their PhD degree from my university, and we have lots of international and national publications. I would like to congratulate our SSIP department and particularly Dr. Mihir Raval for arranging this webinar, and he is also working very well, doing very well in SSIP. We are arranging boot camps, seminars, lectures, and motivational, so many things for the students so that there can be innovations. Dear friends, we know that this National Technology Day, 11th May, why it is celebrated? It is celebrated because on 11th May 1998, the Pokhran atomic test, the Pokhran test was carried out, and we are proud that at that time Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, strong Prime Minister of India, and Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our ex-President of India, was the Chief Space and Technology Scientist at that time. We know the slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. In addition to that, our ex-Prime Minister, Adarniya Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, gave us a third slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan and Jai Vignan. It says too much that what is the importance of science, of technology. Dear friends, I would remember the time of Spanish flu. The whole world suffered from Spanish flu before 100 years. And I read somewhere that more than 4 crore people died at that time. Why it happens? We are also facing this COVID time. But at that time, 4 crore people died due to lack of technology. Now we have so many technical things Due to that technical things and innovations and science, development of science, we are nowadays able to control this COVID. Wherever you go, whether you are in your office, whether you are in your house or in your car, technology is everywhere. But one thing I would like to say that technology should support the life of mankind. We should not be dependent on that. It should be the wellness of human beings. Technology should be used to make this planet Earth a beautiful place. Again, I congratulate all the participants and the SSIP department of Saurashtra University for arranging this webinar on this very auspicious day, the National Technology Day, 11th May. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Now it is my privilege to invite our dynamic Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Nitin Bhai Bilhani, for his presidential remarks. Please, sir.
Yes. International webinar on innovation and technology startups in the current crisis of COVID pandemic, organized by SSIP Cell Saurashtra University. Our eminent guest, respected our Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vijay Bhai Desani, our Registrar, Dr. Jatin Shoni, Honorable Dean and Faculty of Science, Mr. Mehul Bhai, this webinar's speakers, an eminent person, Dr. Om Prakash Sharma ji, Director, National Center for Innovation in Distance Education, Nai Delhi. Our guest speaker, Mr. Selim Ranga Reddy, ex-technocraft Indian Air Force, Andhra Pradesh, and Mr. Harshal A. Shangvi, research scholar and research assistant, Department of Computer Engineering, Florida Atlantica University, USA, and our coordinators, Dr. Mihir Rawal, Professor Nikesh Shah, Mr. Maushmi Waghela ji, Mr. Chintan Panchasra, and all the participants in this webinar. Friends, COVID-19, it's a very challenge, a time of desperation in the life of our country, a desperation that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to many, and enormous changes to the daily lives of us all. I want to thank all the frontline healthcare workers and those who carrying over their essential roles selflessly and continues their day-to-day duties outside the home in the support of us all. I'm sure the nation will be joining me in assuring you that what you do it appreciated and every hour of your hard work bring us closer to return to more normal times. I also thank those of you who are staying at home. They were helping to protect the honorable and sparing many families. Together we are tackling this disease, and I want to reassure you that if we remain united and resolute, then we will overcome in very soon. I hope by the end of this year, everyone will be able to take pride that now how we beat these corona challenges. But to get those better days, not only healthcare workers, but we also need contributed. God has made our mind in such a way that is a way full thoughts and haven't they. Sometimes it has very innovative idea, especially in students in life. We are having a various innovative ideas, but as time passes, we forget these ideas. But now, to fight this pandemic situation, students can contribute their innovation thinking and help solve these issues we are facing now. One of the best helping hand in this situation is a technology. To find rapid solution to fight this pandemic, technology are not looking for innovation ideas, but they are also leveraging. Technologists are not leveraging existing technology for new person. Such creativity and innovation is necessary in a crisis, but heartening during a critical time such a COVID. Students need not wait for this COVID situation to be seized, but they can grab the opportunity of this situation to make their ideas into real. To help their friends, families, and others, various innovative technologies have emerged in this COVID situation, like leveraging variables in early COVID detection. Smartwatch now also check your oxygen level. Arogya Setu app help detecting COVID patient near and whom you have a meet in last few days. Public health message where Department of Technocom asked telco operators to play coronavirus awareness message and prevention techniques as a caller tune instead of the normal ringtone. As people made call, they had a 30 seconds message on how to stop this virus. Spread as well, healthcare center contact information. This simple solution help leverage chips technology to reach the millions with a phone in their pocket, including the country's 26% illiterate population. Another India technologies is talked about includes air OK manufacturers, air purifiers, which is purify major population and gaseous substances. This is startup based in New Delhi. Another example includes Bengaluru, Hyderabad Nanotechnology Startup, which has come up the first of its kind product named Corona Oven, and that make us use UVC light. The device is disinfected surface from germs including bacteria and viruses. These unique multifocal UV disinfection chambers and climate to sanitize any surface within 4 minutes. These are numerous examples of innovation which is emerging in this crisis. And with this, we can say that it's a good opportunity for any person make their idea real. Today on this National Technology Day, with this webinar, we aim to exchange some knowledge on the startup and innovation in the present crisis of COVID pandemic and its will difficulty motives the young mind to think in ideas and work on their ideas further to develop some new facilities for the community and our nation as well. So the dream of the Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat can but achieved as soon. Congratulations and all the best in this webinar. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivation to innovators. Now, for vote of thanks, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Nikesh Shah, Professor of Department of Physics, Coordinator of CCTV Saurashtra University, as well as Coordinator of this event. Please, sir.
So happy National Technology Day to all participants. We are also celebrating Subhash Chandra Bose 125 years celebration this year. So on behalf of organizing committee, I would like to first thankful to invited speakers of today's event, Dr. Om Prakash Sharma sir, Mr. Selim Ranga Reddy sir, and young and dynamic our friend, Mr. Harshal Sanghvi. In very short time, they accept our invitation, and today, due to them, this event is possible. I am especially thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Nitin Kumar Pethani sir, our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vijay Bhai Desani, who was present virtually with us. I am also thankful our Dean Science Faculty and Syndicate Member, Dr. Mehul Bhai Rupani, and our young registrar, Dr. Jatin Soni sir, for inspiring us to organize such an event. I extend my thanks to the coordinator, SSIP cell, our friend, Dr. Mihir Bhai Rawal, Dr. Piyush Solanki, Ms. Mosmi Waghela, Mr. Chintan Panchasra, and all team members for such an innovative event. I am also thankful to the Director of Computer Center and especially Chandra Prakash ji for supporting us to live this event through YouTube and Facebook. Last but not least, I am heartily thankful to all 1250 plus participants from all over the world for making this event possible. And I hope this event will very much successful with the help of the expert. Thank you all. Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we end our inaugural ceremony and move towards to start the sessions. So our first session is on technological startups in defense sector, which will be presented by Mr. Selim Ranga Reddy, sir. But before inviting him, I would like to request Mr. Chintan Panchasra, Assistant Professor of Department of Physics and Coordinator of this event, please give a brief introduction about Reddy, sir. Please, Chintan, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Vice Chancellor, sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, invited speakers, and the senior coordinators of these programs, and my dear participants. It is our pleasure to welcome today's speakers, and the very first one, Mr. Selim Ranga Reddy, sir. I would like to briefly introduce Mr. Selim Ranga Reddy, sir. Sir has basically completed his graduation from SV Degree College, Udappa, and after that he has joined Indian Air Force, and in the same organization he has completed Diploma in Aeronautical Engineering, degree in Quality and Overhauling of Equipments in the same Indian Air Force, again IT Welfare and Security course at Indian Air Force. He has completed a degree course in Computer Applications, Hardware and Networking in Indian Air Force. And once he has completed his service of 15 years in Indian Air Force, they have been assigned a degree of technical graduation, which is equivalent to that. He has also completed several degree courses such as Microcontroller and Embedded Systems from Texas Instrumentations, again Hardware and Networking from CSC Chennai, and pre-incubation training program, AutoCAD Pro and SolidWorks in IPR design, patents and trademarks from the very prestigious IIT Chennai, CADT Center Bangalore, IPR Patent Office Chennai. Sir has several patents. Talking about some of his patents, I would like to say that Sir has served in Indian Air Force since 1994 to 2011. And after getting retired from Indian Air Force, Sir has established Selim's, which was basically a proprietorship firm, and later it was converted into a private limited, and it is at the rural area to support the rural employment for manufacturing and marketing of the laptops, which is all in one computer. Sir will say more about that. And he is the founding director of Selim's Private Limited presently. It is a firm, it is interesting to say that it is a firm which was started with 750 US dollars self-investment, and Sir raised it up to the investment of 6,50,200 US dollars in the form of fixed assets, loans, and infrastructures. And Sir has a very so much well-known contributions. Sir has also suggested some of the major projects in Government of India and Government of Andhra Pradesh, which involves, we all know that NAMO application modifications in that. He was also involved in GST simplified filing. He suggested various correction in online patents and applications to process. And there is a long list which Sir has suggested in Government of Andhra Pradesh and Government of India. Apart from all this, Sir has innovations and patents on technology on natural air cooler. He has 6 design patents on cap tops. He has a trademarks of Selim's and cap tops, patent in cap top, and another 3 are under process. Talking about the awards, he was awarded as a best technocrat in the Indian Air Force, best instructor, and again a best technocrat in aeronautical safety. He was awarded a sum of 5 lakh and 7 lakhs for his patent. And he was also awarded the gold medal in 2017 at World Innovation Trade Fair at Istanbul, Turkey, and again a silver medal in the same conference in second year. There is a long list of achievements. Now, I would like to, by taking no much time, I would like to invite our today's invited speaker, Mr. Selim Ranga Reddy, sir. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of Saurashtra University to extend your talk. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Chintanji. First of all, I have Jai Hind, and I have to say extremely sorry. I just delayed for the 5 minutes, and let me respected Sri Nitin Chatanaji, Vice Chancellor, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, and Sri Vijay Deshaniji, Professor Vice Chancellor, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, and our Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Mehubai Rupaniji, Syndicate Member of Saurashtra University, and Sri Jatin Soniji, Registrar, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, and our Honorable Speaker, Sri Om Prakash Sharmaji, and special thanks to our coordinators of this webinar, Dr. Meher Rawalji and Professor Nikesh Shahaji and Moshamiji and Chintan ji. And especially, I have to say special thanks to our Harshalji, because he is the man who is introduced me and for the number of places where my presentation and my experience is sharing with the students. And he is the person who is introduced our honorable respected members and all. Especially thanks to all our members for inviting this session, and also is a great opportunity for me to share my experience now for all the participants along with our honorable guests and vice chancellors and chancellors and other dignitaries. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And in my Air Force, in actually, whenever I worked in Air Force, joined in Air Force initially, my first introduction is means whenever we are presented our late Prime Minister Dr. Abdul Kalam ji. He came 3 times, 4 times and I got a chance to listen him. And today is a very great opportunity as we are discussing about him as a technology day. Our Vajpayee ji, and we are all knows how they are taken the strong decisions, and also without knowing to any third person, and they are conducted the nuclear test. At the time, we are the supporting the member for the whatever they want and carry the troops and whatever the material and all through from the Air Force, and as a general that is an exercise, and really we are also not knowing what is going on there. And when the Prime Minister is announced, then only we come to know, because at the time we are just given us that task, okay, just you drop the material, this material so on some place, this material so on some place. And before, after that, and we got a chance to listen what Abdul Kalam said told, innovations will never come from any, there is no link for the education or maybe money or other what we can experience, and innovation will start from the idea, from the thought of the mind. So now, especially being a defense person, and I have the depth knowledge in the this one, what the defense equipments are there, and comparison to other equipment. So I just want to encourage our students, encourage our participants to anyone can innovate anything. There is no link for the education, there is no link for the education, there is no link for the experience, and there is no link for what we can call it as you must have any strong R&D unit. Innovation is just idea, small idea, which you can change the entire what we can call it as a situation of the product. Let us say one small example. We are all knows about how pandemic we are facing problem in Corona. and every people are behind the vaccine and medicine and all. And let me tell you how our scientists are worked on the I come to know this is already medicine is DRDO is doing an R&D, because the what it is corona is it is not just natural disease, it is created by the Chinese in the lab. And whenever they are created, definitely there will be a 100%, there will be a the way it is created, it can be counted, how it is counted. And from there, when initially, when our force, when our India, it's reached to our India, at the time, what happened? Our scientists from DRDO, they are identified what is the characteristics of this corona, how it is spreading. And it is spreading just like nuclear, how the nuclear cells are, when it is exploded, how it is 1 to 1, it is spreading 1 to 10 or 10 to 100 like this. So corona, once it is maybe you may attack 4 or 5, whatever it may be. With the 4 or 5, the particles is spreading in like anything. The DRDO is thought how to break this spreading, how it should not generate. That is the only they are identified. With the small nowadays, we are all knows, and recently and 3 days back, they are announced that the small powder is can stop the whatever it may be. Now see, and everyone thought India will be face a lot of problems. There will be huge deaths in us, but because of our maybe God nature, and we don't know what can be, we can say very proudly, and we are the best healthy persons in the world. That's why our rate of death is very low, and that too, those who are lost their life families, and really we have to say sorry. And the same time, they lost because of their other internal health issues, not only due to corona. No one is lost their life due to only corona, due to other reasons they lost. Uh, maybe is due to these disturbances, and the specialists don't know we have to work in such a way there should not be side effect, and whatever the people are affected from the means affected from the corona in their lungs and blood cells, it has to be cured. And it should not, it's not our aim is only to prevent the corona. No, that whatever the bodies are affected, it has to be cured. Now we are in the number one, the what we are developed the medicine, or we can call it as the whatever it may be medicine, and it has to be in top in the world, and everyone wondered how they are developed. And our scientists are, they started the very small idea. First they have started how to stop them, how to stop the spreading. Though they're successfully they're success in the spreading. After spreading successful, then they try to how it should be prevented, how it should not affect the lungs or whatever it may be internal our body. Then they started, and then after that, how it is successful because of the nuclear science, and entirely it is on the physics and the nuclear science only. Based on that, our scientists are developed, and it will be very great achievement for the world. And once again, how in phase one, what we faced, the problem entire the world we are supplied, and phase two, and also in the second wave, and we will be the kingmaker in the supplying of the powder, and that too by scrapping the entire world. We can call it as a drug mafia. This is one of the great achievement. That's why everyone is reaching to our nation. And let us continue our innovations and defense. Especially in defense innovations, we have a lot of products are there, and our innovations are there. In defense, the innovation. Let us have one small example on my experience. When I was in Air Force, there is a small modifications I am doing on ground equipment, sir. It is there. If you do this small modification, changing this pipeline, and by using this way, and putting some additional switches and all, so it will be best useful for us. Then what they are done, and our officers and seniors are there, then they take, okay, we'll take up the issue with HAL and DRDO from where the equipment is manufacturing. It means, and that situation, I am not any I'm not an R&D guy from the DRDO. I am not R&D guy from the HAL. I am not any R&D guy. It's working in Aeronautical Development Agency. I am not from the corporate companies where the companies are producing this defense equipment. So I just only ordinary person, and ordinary we can call it as a degree and diploma person, who is where I just trained to work only to maintain the aircraft and fighter aircraft and transport helicopter, whatever it may be. But the thought why it came to mind is the inspiration of late our Dr. Abdul Kalam. Whenever he came, he just say only, you keep on thinking in our surroundings, how we have to invent, how you can develop the thing in better way. In place, you are moving 5 steps. Why can't you move only 2 steps and you can complete their work? In place, you are bringing the very huge ladder. Why can't you use small ladder which you can change the steps? It is small things. He started from there. So especially from there, I got great opportunity to listen, and that too. And 2 times I got it officially, and another 2 times I gone by this one my personal leave. I just requested my commander, please. Then he told, no, you cannot go because already you got 2 times, sir. Please give me leave. I'll go and participate. As I participated, there's a great. His main aim is only started. He's just giving instructions. Only small things. Look around. What is there? What it used to be developed. Let it be any department, any work, anywhere. That same thing. I got the support from the DSIR, Department of Science and Industrial Research, and Dr. S. Rao, who is a scientific advisor to former scientific advisor to Government of India. Our, let us have some equipments are there, defense equipment will just discuss. There's small armaments. In small arms and ammunition, there are so many types of small arms and ammunitions are there. And in small arms and ammunition, you can develop what it is there. What is there? What is the problems you are facing? First, you have to ask the user, sir, what you are facing the problem. What type of advantage you want? What is the benefits you want from this? They may say, yes, I need this, I need this. So if it is there, it will be better. If needs there, then we do. There you have to start your
Sir, you have to unmute yourself. You are muted.
Yeah, sorry. So in ammunition, see, recently, what our DRDO has developed for the ammunition is a great achievement for the ammunition comparison to other nations. In DRDO, the ammunitions are developed, and those development of the ammunition, it is participated by our soldiers only. They are given the feedback, sir, it is there. This is the problem. This is your problem. Please solve it. Then at that time, you no need of any experience, and you think on the product, how it is or how it is to be, but you need some technical knowledge. You need some technical knowledge to understand the product, to develop the product. Then let us talk about the radars. The radars, then there is a great achievement in the radars which we are which we have developed these radars in recently. And with the development of the radars, the government of India and taken the input from the person who are working on the radar. They are asked us what you need, what is your suggestions. That's what our late Abdul Kalam sir is asked. You please take the feedback from the user and ask their problems. Then you start the thing. Definitely, it will be a wonderful. Little ideas will come. So many ideas, 1,000 ideas will come. 1,000 people will be there on the working. 1,000 ideas will come. From there, we can develop the product. Same electronics warfare systems, digital communication network, then combat vehicles. There is a different types of combat vehicles are there. And due to this combat vehicles, and we are achieved great way, especially in defense, what we are importing from Russia, what we are importing from, we call it from Israel, what we are importing from USA, and what we are importing from the France. Those equipped combat vehicles are those vehicles are not as good as quality which are developed by our Tata or Ashok Leyland or Reliance, or we can call it as Larsen and Turbo and other private agencies like and public sector agencies like DRDO and Ministry of Defense, that armored vehicles factory in Avadi, Chennai. So why they are then in combat vehicles, when they asked to what are the advantages is required on the vehicle, what is the need to develop on those combat vehicles. So based on experience, based on again they came back to users, again they came back to soldiers, again they gone to all the armed forces and the other civil, what we can have CRPF, police department, what you are facing, how it used to be done, what you need to develop it. Yes, they are asked, sir, if it is there, good, if it is there, good, if it is there, good. All the points are noted, and then again R&D is started. Then they are developed the product. It's one of the best product, because if idea is there, then it is easy to convert the idea into product. That is only innovation. When you start thinking, means at the time of you face the problem, you inquire the problem. Unless if you are not inquire the problem from the people or from the users, then innovations won't come out. That is the major point is major point is identify the Abdul Kalam sir, and his wherever I think you can see the any lecture, any in YouTube, wherever it is there, is talk only innovation, idea. How idea is, you start from thinking and you start from the problem. When problem is there, idea will be there. When idea is there, design will be there. If design is there, technology will be there. Then product will come out. Let us see next, bridges and other engineering support. We are all are here that our armed forces, what we are developed the bridges, and in recently when it's in Kargil, where our no, border of the China in Pengonso Lake, where I worked there also. When I was in Air Force, we are operated from that. We've gone through that place. We are supplied the what the needs required for the army personnel, and our duty is there to Air Force duty is there to supply them. So when in that area, the bridges and other engineering support at that we are all are importing from the Russia and where like we can call it France and Israel and from the USA. And no one is thought, why can't we develop it? And also government is not supporting. When the government is taken over by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi Bhaji, and he's asked, why can't we develop it? Why you are so much of importing? Then he asked, sir, we need a R&D and we need a funds. Without R&D, we cannot know. You develop it what you want. And he is straightway is given, we try as much as possible, even 100% importing also, we'll support you. Then immediately our minds and the scientists and also soldiers, we are combinationally, they are developed the bridges, and we can lay down even 100 feet of bridge or 200 feet or 300 feet within the span of 6 hours only. And that too entirely mechanical system. There is no human being interference. Only maximum of people are 10 people or 15 people can install the bridges. You can imagine over those bridges, the tank Arjun 972 and other main battle tanks are T92, T72, Arjun maiden battle. Any tank can move over the bridges. You can imagine how much strong it will be there to withstand those heavy weight of main battle tanks. Then advanced material is one of the major concern in the technology development. Whatever you are developing the product, whatever you are developing the missile, whatever you are developing the product, or bridges, or whatever it may be, come back to vehicles, your metallurgy should be strong. Our scientists are great scientists are there everywhere involved in the world. You take any technology developer, there should be a 10% of Indian scientists are there. We are not giving the chance to them develop. For that purpose, this government is taken up and they are given the clearance. Don't bother about the funds. You start R&D. I need output. That's the way we are worked out. And the material metallurgy today, we are also, as per my knowledge, maybe proudly I'll say we will be on top. But I don't know what is what our scientists are not disclosed. See, let us see. No scientist and even no government, no professor, no doctor is disclosed about the this one DRDO, this anti-coronavirus drug, that is the powder which is to be taken through water. It is developed. Till 3 days back, no one knows what is there. That is what is going on silently inside the defense DRDO, and it is the supporting what we can call it, any organization, private or public organization. Main battle tank. Again, we know how it is developed. It is successfully, and before before pandemic, I think in 2020 or 2019 end of the year, is all the main battle tanks are tested. They are conducted the test and the competition in Russia and also in Europe countries. And our tanks are on the top, but they are not they don't want to show that our tanks are top. They are showed us we are in 3rd or 4th place. But laterally we come to know in technology, we are on the best comparison to what the tanks are maneuvering capacity. What is maneuvering means? Turning left and right, moving on the whatever it may be, whether it is hill area or whether it can be anywhere it may be. How the things are moved. It's because of how it is R&D, how the material is there, is the only innovation. Next, light combat aircraft is also one of the areas. And now USA and how the things are. We got the great support from the Japan and also Israel and the France to develop the technology in the light combat aircraft and main equipment design, and with the Indian support they are developed, and it's one of the best comparison to other aircrafts which is available at the same cost. Yes, torpedoes, which is for it comes under the naval. Next, anti-submarine warfare system is one of the major warfare system in the submarines. How to tackle the submarine, how to identification, how to counter the counter electronics in warfare system. and aerial target system. Then unmanned air vehicles. In unmanned air vehicles, there are so many science students are there developed the UAV vehicles without any background of R&D, without background of financial, and without background of any major institution support, and without any technological corporate company support. They are developed. We'll have example. Let us see later. And aero engines. Then multi-mode radar system, composites and armor, microelectronics, night vision system. If you talk microelectronics and let us see in the compositors and armor. In compositor, see nowadays to hide from the radar, hide from the counter measurements and electronic counter measures from the radar, the materials are developed with composite material, which should not get the track identified by the radar. In radar earlier, it is getting the signal, how it is the waves or whatever it may be, signals it is transmitted, and when those signals are fall onto any object, it is a metallic object, again getting back, and that is identified, this is some metallic part is there. So now the counter, then again for the same purpose, the plastic, the people are started using the plastic. Now again radars are developed such a way, whether it be any material, it should be identified. Then again they started. Then again there is innovation, how to identify the plastic. Earlier the technology in radar, which are crores of rupees are invested by entire the world, they don't leave the wasted, because now the plastic is reached through like drones and all. Is all the entirely body is manufactured with the composite materials. Again it is identified. That is again developed the radars in the identifying of the plastic also. Then microelectronics. In microelectronics, we can call it earlier. In my experience, I seen the how big is in education system, and when at the time of change, and what is the size and what is the product facilities when I came out from the airport. And the 17 years, sir, we can call it as only 14, because the 3 years under training. At the time, we don't know. Actually, when I gone and see, when I was on the field, actually field work, what the equipment size is there. When I came out from airports, at the time, what is the equipment? Advanced is a lot of changes are there. That is the only in letter you take in because it is a developed microelectronics only. It's not developed only because of the body design. No, the earlier whatever the PCB they are designed, it's a very huge PCB. And later on is after 4 years, 5 years, same PCB is occupied only not 1/4 of the which is there in earlier. That's the design of the microelectronics. Next, night vision system. Yeah, this is one of the great today great equipment today for the aircraft and also for the soldiers on the border and sea and air and the ground, wherever it may be. And signal data networks. This is the signal and data network. Data network means how the data is going, the data they are transferring, how the signals, what type of signals their enemy radars are discharging, what type of signals the enemy, we call it as a drones are discharging, what type of signals the enemy fighters are giving, what type of enemy signals or missiles are there. There is that different types of signals are there. And different types of application signals are there. Those signals and data networks also is one of the innovation sector area in defense. Simulators is one of the major factor which reduce the, we can call it a 70% of the defense expenditure. Simulator means how to fire a gun, how to fire the missile, how to fly the aircraft, how to get the experience in the aircraft before you actually sit in the cockpit, how to do the ship, control the ship, how to control the submarine, and how to control the drone, and how to control the we can call it tanks, and how to control armored vehicles, how to control missions to fire. All these to be operated with simulator. Simulator is just like a computerized and which without any expenditure you will get training and with the especially in the simulator you can learn at least 70% what you can learn. Sorry, there may be some technical issues and every time it disconnects.
No problem, sir.
Extreme sorry, sir. I kept 3 and 2, 3, but all of them issuing problem today.
No problem,
So
sir.
let us see, and next is artificial intelligence agencies system. Artificial intelligence system. Let us see what artificial intelligence. In artificial intelligence, what the product is there. For example, if one so in artificial intelligence, let us say, let us one example how we can enhance some. Let me have let me explain in the especially in artificial intelligence. If any human being is applied there, he can identify easily who is there, what is there, and what is the equipment are. Same way, the artificial intelligence is nowadays. If you the sensors are there, camera signals are there. If you deploy sensors and camera signals, it will identify.
So you are not audible. So I think if you can just check your Wi-Fi connection.
Here,
Yes, sir, you are audible now.
how
So your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking, sir. You can turn off your video and then you can speak. I think that will give you more bandwidth.
I will. I will. Is it now?
Yeah, it is fine now.
Is it okay? Yeah,
Yes.
it's better to turn off the video. Yeah, in artificial intelligence system, there will be a technology to identify product. It will be answer to identify whether it is real or is is it audible, please?
Yes, yes, it is perfect. Audible, sir.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I changed the one more network. So in based on this technology, based on that what is available in artificial intelligence system, it's reached such a way in the defense nowadays. It's only not by the R&D units of corporate sectors. It is the came from the experience and the demand from the soldier. Sir, we need this. We want this. We want to identify this. Then we can easily target. We kill those who are crossing the borders. Definitely based on questions and requirement, the science and engineers design and they thought artificial intelligence. These are there to
I think, sir, you are on mute. You have to unmute yourself.
chances are there to develop it. To develop the product which in based on the requirement and based on the what user need and what the user required to modify the technology. From there only innovation is started. Let us see how the development plans in our this one. The involve the industry as a prime production agency from the beginning, and industry to take up LSP orders, firm commitment from the user. See, these are the points are very firm commitment from the user, what they want, what they need. Explore, export opportunities to increase volume of production. R&D support of DRDO and academia throughout the product life cycle. The objective is to pool capital, manpower, resources, and industrial infrastructure available outside the public sector and facilitate development of full-fledged defense industrial complex in the country to achieve the self-reliance. So, in this, the government is thought we 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 have to bring the innovations and we have to bring the innovation apart from the DRDO, apart from the HL, apart from the defense agencies to other universities and the students, and we can call it as a open to the people. So from that place, the government is started to development of the to get the innovation ideas on the any product from the private sector also. In 2016, Government of India decided to open a defense product to Indian private sector with the FDI up to 26%. In 2016, the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, DAPP, issued the guidelines for licensing the production of the arms and ammunition. So, this is the main criteria where the government is started in 2016 itself to reach to the students, to reach to the colleges, to get the innovations thoughts from the students and from the professors as a team. Next. Let us see the defense industry partnership meets. Defense industry partnership meets the organized at regular intervals to share their requirements and information with the private industry regarding the requirements of the defense production agencies and the difficulties wings of the armed forces to help the private industry to prepare the proper investment plans. See, that is what we are discussing. The defense industry, they want partnership with the private industries, private organization, institutions. They are given the problems. Yeah, I have this problem. Please give me solution. We have the talented people are there in entire India, every university, every minds of the student. Talent is there. How to take out those talent? The same thing what later our Dr. Abdul Kalam sir is worked on that, and our honorable Prime Minister very much impressed his ideas. Yes, if you need problem, you have a problem. To solve this problem, we need a solution. How the solution will come? Until unless you are not exploded your problem, solution won't come. So that is the where the defense armed forces and DRDO explore the problem. This is the problem. This is to be developed. And how you can develop. There's so many ideas will come. How so many ideas are reaching to the defense organization like DRDO and other lab, HAL, Aeronautical Development Agency, and Naval Shipyard Development Agencies. They are getting the inputs. From those inputs, they are identifying best input. They are awarding them. They are developing, and there are those who are given the best idea. They are getting the chance to develop the product on the free of cost with the government. Even they are not bothered about crores of rupees also. But the idea should be genuine. Idea should be a practically. It's not like that, sir. I can reach to sun. How you can reach? You have to say communicate with them. You have to explore the idea. The practically possible ways you have to explore in front of the scientists, in front of the engineers, which is to be acceptable to others. Next, the new initiative taken by the Ministry of Defense, Government of India. The Government of India constituted Defense Acquisition Council headed by the Defense Minister in the principal approval of the capital acquisition in long-term perspective plan and for each capital acquisition program. The decision of the central government implemented there are three boards are there. One is a procurement board, one is a production board, another R&D research and development board. In defense acquisition wing, headed by the special secretary, has been created to assist the defense procurement board. What they want to procure. Earlier, there is no such a way. Is there now? There are a lot of difficulties. I seen if I want to, there is in civil where we used to grease some hinges. How the normal trucks are greasing. Those equipments are there in civil, but those equipments to procure in the defense, we are taken is not less than 2 years at that time. Now it is only going for not less than more than 1 month. Within 1 month, the people are getting the equipment. Why? Because when they approach to higher authorities, sir, it is there, this product is there, I need this product. Like way, they are procuring. If your innovation is good, if your thoughts are good, if you explode your thoughts to any university or or we can call it in a private firm, if the product is good, definitely you approach them. These boards are available, these details are available on the Ministry of Defense and DRDO website. If you approach them, if the product is good, definitely they will take. There is no hesitation. It's not like earlier government. Let us see in Defense Technology Council, DTC has been constituted under the chairmanship of the Defense Minister to provide guidance and supervision of growth and promotion of the research, development and production related to the defense technologies. It's not only in defense, it's not only public product, it's not only in the DRDO to be developed, not only in the corporate companies. It is explored to the institutions, all the institutions. That is up to you to participate. If you have any idea, very well you can take up the product into any ministry of means organization which is related to your product. Next. New initiative again, which the government of India has taken. The DTC will assist the Defense Acquisition Council in taking the holistic decisions on specific defense projects related to long-term perspective plan with the public and private partnership. There it is only government. Here again the same. The accusation council, what they are doing, they are public in private partnership. Private partnership, public means we are all the public. All the institutions are the public, all the colleges are the public, and the private partnership, you can join there to by investing, sir. We will also spend the money R&D along with them. We will support. This is the R&D unit we have. We can support. This is the way. Again, the defense acquisition cell again is established. Then procurement of defense equipment to modify it on approach based on product strategy with the public and private partnership. Here, see, this is a modify to an approach based. Modify means what you need to modify, what you need to more technology. They will, yes, this is the product. Can you modify anything? You go to websites, there is a Drdo is there, and all they are in startup cell everywhere they are put up. Yes, this is a product is there. We need modification on this. If you have knowledge on this particular area, particular technology, you can definitely modify, and you can put a proposal to them. It is entirely very transparently. No one will take your technology. That's what available at the present situation, and that's why we are successful in every product and every technology in defense equipments and defense. What we can arms and ammunitions and drones also. Yes, integration of user, Ministry of Defense and the Indian industry, including public and private R&D units. See, again here public integration of user means the army people, or Air Force, or Navy, or Coast Guard, or CRPF, or police, whatever it may be. Then Ministry of Defense, he is the controlling. And then Indian industry, it can be a private or public, or it can be a R&D units, whether it can be a private or public. Every institution is a R&D. Why? Because the professors are there, experienced professors are there, students are there. Their questions can be, it can be a developer. The professors can participate. The team of the students, team of the professors can do the R&D on that. Based on their R&D, their development, the idea will become into product very easily. Facilitate ordnance factories and defense PSUs to assure the role of designer and integrator of large defense systems with the public and private partnership. Earlier, those designs and those technology is not reaching to the public. Now, government itself is asking from the public, you have any talent product, you please design is there, or you have any technology, please support with the ordnance factories, defense public sector units. You will be recognized. Those recognition is there. And if you have any better innovation, better idea, better product in our hand. Let us next. Defense startups in India. Now let us see. The Indian startup ecosystem is playing a pivotal role in achieving the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliant in India. Especially in defense equipments, in a defense startup, there are huge, what we can call it is unlimited space is given for the innovation. Students, or we can call it engineering colleges, or any universities, or private institutions, private R&D organization, to participate in the Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliant India. To reach this goal, several startups, entrepreneurs, and innovators are leveraging technology to come up with innovative solutions. That's what asking government. You please come up with the solution. What is the innovative solutions you have? What is the technology you have? You no need to be, again I'm pointing out to you everyone. No need to be a professor. No need to be a highly qualified person. You no need to be highly background financially, or no need to be what we can call it as a R&D unit. If your idea is better, you search it out whether this idea is there or not, if the technology is there or not. If everything is available nowadays in the Google, you can search it out the technology. The things are there net. definitely you can approach to the government of India or any through any startup centers in any universities or colleges. Definitely you will get those support. The government has also been pushing innovators to come up with the solutions of empowering the nation defense and security. In 2019, in November, Indian government has allotted the fund at least to support 250 defense startups over the next 5 years in order to come up with a new cutting edge solution for the armed forces. In let us see how the this how this funding is working, how you will get the funding. The Ministry of Defense has also earmarked around 500 crore for its innovation for defense excellence initiative launched in April 2018 to find new technologies to help the Indian armed forces. There is no question of lack of fund in the Ministry Defense MOD and also DRDO, any organization for the especially for development of the fund, and that is how you will take your innovative ideas to the organization, that is to be acceptable, that is to be practical to develop. Then your ideas on any product which we are discussed, I explained the products, how many products areas are there innovation, you can approach them, you will get support. Myself, I got 2 products are in the, it's a very, I got great support from the Ministry of Defense and DRDO, and they are guided me, you please approach this, and definitely I gone through and I certified and I got the product, it is recognized, and it is under the development, it is that they are given the guidance to the technology development board, please support him from under this scheme you can develop it. The Ministry of Defense this one several business in such as there is came up in so many this one these are the examples where these companies and these technologies are involved for development of the cutting edges in the defense equipment, especially. Next, defense startups in India. Let us have some, what are the defense startups in India, how their journey is started. So in defense startup, that I raw, that is we can call it as a, this is one of the defense equipment, and it is we can call it as a yeah, which is a small idea, and is now it is a growing such anything in the, especially in the R&D, and what we can call it a research, and we can call it an other in especially in naval side, navy side, they are taken this product for their huge R&D in the under the water, under the lot of depth in the water. There are so many equipments are there to identify, to reach into the depth of the sea, even up to ground and touching the under the ground, we can call it as a ground of the sea, but those are not successful, and also those are huge expenditure, and also those equipments are easily identified by the enemy whatever we call their radars or their equipments. But this, you see, all these 8 guys are there, which is just common people, and they don't have any R&D background, and they don't have any financial background, they don't have any great what we can call it as a institution backing them with R&D and finance, and government is not supported them. They are simply got an idea. With this idea, can we move, can we do, and can we support? That is only battery based. And how this technology they are developing, they are thought, when you are in outside, when there is a stone weight is there, you just think are your weight or our body weight, if it is 50 kg or 100 kgs, no one can, it's a carry. But same, if your body is in the water, and very small boy he can swim, and also he can he can drag you from the water to the, we can call it as a river edge of the whatever wherever he want. Why there it is required only to apply small force in maybe 10 kgs of force is enough. But whereas on the ground, he has to apply on you to carry. If your weight is 50, he has to apply at least 70 kgs of weight force to you to lift your body and to carry. There is a two, you have to lift and you have to carry. There are two types of forces are required. But here in the water, no, only to simply you have to drag it, and that your body is, it will be 80% of the weight will be reduced and taken over by the water. Same concept when they are in swimming pool, they are identified. Why this? They are developing so much of big machineries and all, and to identify the enemy's aircraft, and they are easily identified. Why can't we design that? They simply design a small battery, and internally their light is there and camera is there, and there is one transmission system. It is entirely purely plastic, and there is no any harm to the salt water, and entire the product is plastic, and they are made a drive shaft and the fans which you can see the we can call it as a water propellers. There's a propeller is there for the aircraft, and also in boats also there. So they have developed that propeller, and they don't have any background. They just idea they developed. Now it is this product is taken over by DRDO, and they are doing the R&D, and it is using very largely, especially in the border areas, to counter the Chinese drones, water drones, to counter the Pakistan water drone. Even I hear that it is tested in the Pangong, so lakeside also, to take the photos going under the water, identifying there, because it's a plastic. It can move even just be over the ground of the water level. So that is one of the best to example for our students and participants. You can identify the areas of innovation. Next, cron systems. The Indian Armed Forces and Border. Arshalji, his time is there. Just I'll take 5 minutes because number of times it is disconnected.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem.
How much time? How much time, please? Can you tell me so that I'll finish it off?
I think the time you can have 5 more minutes. Sir.
5 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
Let us see. This one drone they are developed in earlier for the sensor. Earlier there is a army on the border areas. What they are doing? They are fixing the faults. Over the faults, they are fixing the sensors, and through that sensor, when identifying, then they will get the information, and then the army people on the border, RBS, BSF or ITBP, they are reaching the spot and they are identifying. In that there is a time delay, and there is no and time delay, and also especially there is a so the issue developed the sensor, not we can call it is not a camera, it is the sensor, the through that sensors, and with the what we can call it a in place of, we can call it a sensor, we can call it as a the way it is identifying, the way it is discharging the signals is unable to track by the enemy radars or enemy equipments. So by using those technology, very simple way, they are identified and they are developed this, and they are tested on the border. It's really great success, and also it is entirely developed with the plastic body. Normally drones are manufactured with the metallic and all. Entire the body they are made plastic, and except the motors and battery, everything they are made in plastic, and the sensor creator and the transmitter they are used the plastic. whatever the particular electronic product, and remaining thing they are developed with the plastic body is a very huge development. It's a very, very useful, especially in the Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistani border areas. It's a given, it's a given excellent results. Those people are not high or background of R&D unit or huge financial. They're formed as students, and they are the only just common people. How they are getting ideas? Because they are searched out. Their ideas they thought to bring it is into the reality on the ground. Then they are searched out how it is to be, what ways. Then there you have the place to put your entire effort to identify the best ways so that the technology development institutions can take up your idea. Next, Asteria Aerospace is based on the Bangalore, is robotics. Can you change the slide, please? In defense startup, it's a robotics. How it is how it is useful the robotics. The product in robotics, what they are developed in robotics, very simple robotic, and this robotic is there is no any great innovation in the robotic, and entire the body again made in fabric, and entire the body made in a what we can call it as a unrecognizable material. They are very simple plastic, and it is useful for the communication infrastructure development and service needed to encourage the maintaining of fleet drones and commercial and industrial purpose also. There these drones are useful, and especially in Ministry of Defense, their Ministry of Defense used these drones to control in the combat operations, and is not able to, and it is not identifying by the army, what we call it as enemy people radars or enemy sensor equipments, and how they are how they are escaped, because this is a it is a robot, a robotic drone, and also is carrying the arms and ammunition, and the way it is flying, the way it is maneuvering, the way it is hovering on the, especially in the areas like Himalaya areas and the Pakistan and border areas where the huge terrain is there and huge forest is there, and and very silently the product is identifying the enemies and it is transmitting. Maybe you may say no sir, these drones are there, but there is how it is to be identified, the way it is a product material it is used, how the it is, it should not identified by the or opposite.
Sir, you are muted. You need to unmute yourself.
Harshalji, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah, 2 minutes. I don't know, it's a keep continued disturbances today. See, let us see one more Asteria Aerospace. All these innovations are came from the students only. These innovations are not from any big R&D units of public sector or private sector, DRDO. There's so much of experienced scientists are there, so much of student economic professors are there in DRDO and other public sector departments, but one is identified. Let us have an discuss. Let us have a picture of this drone, small drone. This drone is approved by DCA. This drone is approved of Defense. This drone is approved by the Ministry of Home and Ministry of Government of India and all paramilitary forces and army. This drone is entirely designed with the plastic. And can you share the screen? And you can see there is a difference between this drone and other drones. In all the drones, it's having there are 4 or 5 rotors will be there, and it's rotors in a square form or circular rotors will be there in a circular way. But here it is having only one propeller and having its plastic on wing is, and the controls are there, and very simple way. And the way this drone is used, especially in at present situation in China border, is great achievement for the armed forces, because it fly, it can, and it can carry the cameras, it can carry the we can call communication system, it can carry live the photos, what we can call capturing the photos, or it can live streaming to the control areas. So based with the help of those technology, this drone is selected and it is a clearance is given by DGA. Great for these students. Do you think these students are very are there is they're starting small?
Sir, you are mute. I think you have to unmute yourself.
Last and you are surrounded with friends. Sean, you for and providing the solutions to the aerospace and robotics state the startup. This is uh, this is also approved by the Ministry of Defense, because it can carry the Harshalji, can we I'll conclude it, please.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Please. So, to respected all the vice chancellors, sir, and members, I'm extremely sorry today. Continuous disturbances in my presentation. I'm extremely sorry, sir, and there is a technical issues. and keep on continually and face the problem today. And thanks for your giving chance to present my presentation on defense innovations and all. I request all the students and participants. There is no any question of your standard or your backup is for the innovations to bring into the put into the product. Any idea can be transformed to the product. Any idea can be uh, developed very easily at present situation with the government of India. There are a lot of schemes are there through your universities. You can approach those universities can take up directly with the DRDO from the concerned directorate, I mean, in cell in the Ministry of Defense. Those things can be taken over, and I'm here. I will support always for the students' innovations, whatever their requirement, and I'm ready to support our Saurashtra University, especially on the innovations, how to develop it, ideas to the product stage. Thank you for your Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation and giving a perspective of startups and innovation from the defense sector, which was very much a new topic for the common participants as well. Sir, we have received some questions, so I would like to, if you permit, I would like to
Please,
take those
please,
questions.
please.
Sir, one question is, does Indian Air Force support startups if approached directly, or how can we approach Indian Air Force and DRDO straight away?
Yeah, you cannot straight away contact any Air Force, Navy, or Army because they will not entertain. And you have to approach through DRDO and through the respective agency. If it is naval related, there are DRDO naval agencies are there. If it is related to Air Force, there is a aeronautical development agency is there. It's all the details are available in the website.
Yes, sir. Now we move to the next question. Sir, please throw a light on how can we use technology to improvise the life of our fellow soldiers.
Very great question. And the improvement of the see earlier, let me have a small example. When I was in Air Force in 2003 or 4 in the Leh Ladakh, where Pengangso Lake in minus 1828 degrees. At the time, we have to wear not less than 4 to 5 pairs of what we call clothing. But now it is only just like one small sweater type, which is developed by the DRDO. And there will be a question why earlier developed, why the DRDO is not developed. The technology is there, people are there, but the government is not shown such an interest to develop it. Now the government is open to everyone, and if you have a better idea than those, you can think on how the is available on the internet. It is available on the Google. What are the soldiers are facing problems on the border areas, extreme terrain conditions and all. You go through there and you can have an idea, and same idea you can search in the Google. If the things are available, definitely you can develop it and you can present to the DRDO better development, and it will be taken up. It's 100%. I am assure you that the DRDO is the best organization where the any defense product, if you have an idea, best idea, they are taking a project as a immediate if it is a better idea and better project. Any question?
Yes, sir. There is one question that, sir, he's asking that he's a biotechnology engineer. Then what are the scopes in the defense sector for him?
Biotechnology means there will be a two type. One is the energy will come, another is the it's in what we can call it is in biowar, means chemical related. If it's a chemical related, see how is a small example. Our scientists are developed the how to crack the expansion of the that corona, whatever it is there. If it is a 4-hour attack in our body, and the 4 molecules will be increased to 10, then 10 to 20, 10 to 100 is increased. How to break those chain? So that is came in chemical. If it is in the biofuel and all. There, biofuel and all, you can go through how to reduce the emission of the air force, aeronautical aero engines, how to reduce the emission, how to increase the efficiency of the missiles by increasing the biofuel in the fuel in what we can call it the rockets, or we can call it ammunitions, or we can call it in missiles, so that the efficiency will increase and the pollution will reduce. And based on those, your idea, you can approach those organizations. Definitely, they will recognize it. There is no end to the technology in the DRDO. If you have better idea, definitely you can approach them. They will support you.
Sir, there is one more question that is
Yes.
asked, that how do we see the defense sector, any changes in the defense sector before Corona and after Corona pandemic?
Yes, there's a lot of changes in defense sector. Before Corona, things are going very what we can as my friends are there, I just asked them what is the situation before Corona, after Corona, and the way they got facilities, the way they got arms and ammunition, the way they got from the people, it's a really it's unexpected form they got, the entire facilities they got, and the entire modern equipment they got, the which things are not changed since last 30 to 40, 50 years. It's changed within 1 year. Why it is changed? Is not only there will be expected war from China. No, not only thing from expected war from Pakistan. The Corona pandemic teach and we taught us the defense specially how the things we can stand in our civil problems and also in the border areas also. And the way they are exposing the creating the problems for us, those problems are immediately you are seen. There's so many projects are developed, so many ideas are published, problems are published in our defense DRDO website, and there is a call from the every people. Yes, this is a problem. You please participate your idea. Please give us your idea. We will take up. We will develop it. Thousands of crores of rupees are spent on that ideas, and they are developed in a span of time, and they are given to the what we can call it to the soldiers. See how there is a one. I think the student is participated in development of the night vision and development of the clothes, the winter clothing. The wear at the time we have to wear not less than at least 7 to 8 kilos of entire the clothing. Now it's more than 78 kilos. Now it's reached only 2 kilos, 2 to 2.5 kilo. How much easy to maneuver those things? Because it's when it is given to public, people are participated. So many industries are there, so many institutions are there, so many institutions participated. Even our Nagarjuna University, one of the professor is participated development of one what we can call it in food, how to store the food with the packing, while packing. He is developed definitely. It's a very great achievement for him. You can search on him, Mr. Ravi Kumar, physics lecturer. You will get the news from him. That is drastically and very, very fast is the things are changed within 1 year. Now government is got an opportunity. Yes, in this way we can develop the items very fast comparison to doing the R&D and development only in defense sector inside the DRDO in play, so that they are open to everyone. This is one of the best example for you how it is developed. Next.
That's it. I think. Thank you so much, sir, for taking those questions and delivering a wonderful lecture on defense sector, and you are sharing your experience on defense sector, sir. It was very much helpful to all the participants. I once again thank you on behalf of Saurashtra University. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And I also say extremely sorry to our honorable guest and our vice chancellor sir and other dignitaries and participants, as there is a continuous disconnect. and I will not repeat in for the next presentation next time, please. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Now we move towards the next speaker of our today's session. And before inviting him, I would like to briefly introduce our next speaker of the day. Our next speaker is Mr. Arshal Sanghvi. He is currently pursuing his PhD doctoral studies and is also a research assistant in computer engineering department from Florida Atlantic University, USA. He has pursued his master's in IT and PG diploma in management from Gujarat University, and he's also done his BSc with electronics from St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. He is a founding member and a founder innovator of Essence Tech, an EdTech company based in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And he was associated with many of the companies such as Nidan Technologies, Trump Card Initiatives, etc. Before this, he has also worked as an IT intern associate at Physical Research Laboratory. Apart from all this, he is also an editor of one of the ebook called I Do and I Understand. And he is also editor in the newsletters of Gujarat Science Academy and ISTD, Indian Society for Training and Development. Apart from all this, he is also associated with IEEE and also expert at NCIDE, IGNU, New Delhi. He was also incubation manager at SSIP Incubation Centers, British Science College, Modasa. And he has been actively involved as an associate member in Gujarat Science Academy and as well as life member in Indian Association of Physics Teachers. And he has given various expert talks at various universities and colleges across India. And talking about some of his achievements, he has achieved Sri Bharat and Bhatt Memorial Prize for Commendable Social Service at St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. And he has also been awarded by Indian Society for Training and Development for valuable contribution in the areas of entrepreneurship and development. He is closely associated with many of the universities and institutions in India, and there is a long list. Now, before taking much time, I would like to invite straight away to Arshal Sanghvi.
Thank you so much, Professor Chintan Panchasra, for inviting me as a speaker. I would like to thank Shri Nitin M. Pethani sir, Vice Chancellor, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, Shri Vijay Desani sir, Pro Vice Chancellor sir, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, Shri Mehul Bhai Rupani, Shri Jatin Soni sir, all the esteemed speakers and all the coordinators, Professor Nikesh Shah sir, Professor Mihir sir, Professor Moshmi ma'am, and Professor Chintan Panchasra for successfully conducting this whole program. So, without taking much time, I would like to start the session. And thank you so much, Selim, Ranga, Reddy sir, for highlighting the innovations in defense and related areas. So my topic is basically on incubation, innovation, and funding opportunities for startups. So let us start with a very first step towards the startup and entrepreneurship journey. That is the journey of startups, that how the startups have been evaluated and how the startups have been generated since last few years. So everyone must have heard the story of Thomas Alva Edison. So Gujarati and English pe Marathi. So we can have the session in multilingual steps as well. So Thomas Alva Edison ની story બધાએ સાંભળી હશે. So he failed for many times, and at the age of 60, when Thomas Alva Edison once saw that his factory was burning, he called his child and said, "See, the factory is burning. Go and call your mom." So the child was so much depressed, and he called his mom. તમે અગર જોશો તો એની જે માતાજી હતી એ નોર્મલી 95% she was બેભાન થઈ ગયા હતા આ જોઈને કે આખી ફેક્ટરી પડી ગઈ, હવે શું કરશું? And Thomas Alva Edison started his own research and started his own expertise to develop bulb from that stage, and he told God that thank you so much for burning all my mistakes. I have came again and I will start again. So that is about failing in whatever you develop. you redevelop, you invent, and you reinvent. So this is a baseline for having your startup into this competitive world and into this competitive market of 21st century. So welcome to each and everyone to this journey of startups. So let me brief you something, as Selim sir already mentioned about innovations, the importance of innovations in startups. But let me throw a light on how innovations can play an important role in taking your startups to a funding scale, to an enterprise where you can directly pitch to angel investors and venture capitalists, right? So let us move ahead with the journey of the startup. So first is how you can build your approach towards startups. So the foremost thing after innovation is critical thinking. So what exactly is critical thinking? ક્રિટિકલ થિંકિંગનો મતલબ એ કે તમે તમારી આજુબાજુમાં કોઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ થઈ રહ્યો છે, ઇફ યુ હેવ એની પ્રોબ્લેમ ઇન નિયર બાય યોર એરિયાઝ, યુ ટ્રાય ટુ સ્ટાર્ટ થિંકિંગ અબાઉટ ધોઝ પ્રોબ્લેમ. તમે એ પ્રોબ્લેમ વિશે વિચારવાનું શરૂ કરો અને ધેન યુ કમ અપ વિથ અ સોલ્યુશન, અને તમે એક એક સોલ્યુશન, એક પ્રસ્તાવ તરફ આવો કે આપણે આવું કંઈક કરી શકીએ તો જેના કારણે આ પ્રોબ્લેમ સોલ્વ થાય. સો ધીસ ઇઝ અ વેરી સિમ્પલ પ્રોસેસ, આઈડેન્ટિફાઈંગ અ પ્રોબ્લેમ, thinking into a problem and generating a solution out of that. So that is basically a baseline of how you start thinking about innovation and how you start thinking about how to build your own startups. So the second picture you see downstairs it suggests that what is most important rule, and the other guy says is to break the rules. So નોર્મલી સ્ટાર્ટઅપ્સની અંદર આવું થતું હોય છે કે જ્યારે પણ કોઈ એક સ્પેસિફિક નિયમ, એક સ્પેસિફિક આપણને જે રેખા આપી હોય એનાથી અગર આપણે બહાર જઈએ તો ધેર લાઈઝ યોર ઓન ઇન્વેન્શન્સ, યોર ઓન ઇનોવેશન્સ એન્ડ યોર ઓન ક્રિટિકલ થિંકિંગ પ્રોસેસ, કે તમે એક જે પ્રોડક્ટ ડેવલપ કરવા માંગો છો ઓર એલ્સ કોઈ સર્વિસ આપવા માંગો છો એને સૌથી વધારે કઈ રીતે સારી રીતે તમે રિપ્રેઝેન્ટ કરી શકો બીજા લોકો કરતા. Because you stay in a competitive world where you think is already been done by someone else. So you need to think how to represent it in a way that people will appreciate your startup and people will try to invest in your product or else your service. So this is a very small example. If you see on the right hand side, this is a water ATM. Normally a railway stations પર હોય છે કે તમે ₹1 નાખો તો આખી બોટલ તમને પાણી મળે. So do you consider this as an innovation? શું તમે માનો છો કે આ એક innovation છે? Of course, yes. This is an innovation done by some engineers. And this is a social innovation which has been happened several years ago. So આ એક innovation process એવી છે કે જેમાં they have identified a social cause that જે ટ્રેનમાં મુસાફરી કરતા હોય છે અને if they are traveling for a longer journey, અગર એ લોકો લાંબા સમય માટે અગર ટ્રાવેલ કરે છે તો એ લોકોને બોટલ્સ લેવી પડે છે પાણીની, કાં તો પાણીની અછત થાય છે. સો આ વસ્તુ દૂર કરવા માટે they have created this ATM all over the railway stations in India, જેથી કરીને આ પાણીની સમસ્યા દૂર થાય અને એક જે મુસાફર છે એને સ્વચ્છ પાણી મળી રહે, એના માટેનું આ એક વોટર ATM ડેવલપ કરવામાં આવ્યું. So this is how you start thinking critically about a social cause and you try to develop something out of that which leads to your product or which leads to your service onto a scale where government tries to fund you for your own startup. So this is how a critical thinking takes place. This is, this webinar is meant to highlight the points so that you can start thinking about the problems nearby you and try to develop solutions for that and have your own startups. So this is a social cause which was solved by critical thinking process from some engineers, and in this similar way you can try to solve problems nearby you. It is not always that startup अगर चालू करिए तो एक कोई प्रॉब्लम नो सॉल्यूशन જ આપીએ. If you want to give some good solutions to the existing problems or existing products, for example આજે કોઈ એક product તમે બનાવવા માંગો છો, right? If you want to develop some headphones, or let's say if you want to develop some mobile phone, already market ની અંદર તો છે જ. So that is not a new item, but what new is what sort of features you can bring to that cell phone or what sort of features you can bring to those headphones, which will help you to take your product into this competitive market જ્યાં લોકો તમારી product purchase કરશે અને જે well established company છે એની prefer ઓછી કરશે products લેવાની. So this is how you start thinking about innovations in existing products and innovations in new products. So let us have a boost up in the startup sector. And these are the startups we have seen in last several years which have been popped up, which are known as technical startups. So अगर आपने पेंडेमिक હતું તો પેન્ડેમિકમાં અગર જોઈએ so there are many edtech startups જેમ એજ્યુકેશનલ કન્સલ્ટન્સીસ છે, એજ્યુકેશનલ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ્સ છે જે લોકો બૂસ્ટ થયા હતા in last several months and let's say in last 1 year. So those are Unacademy, Audacity, Coursera, DataCamp and EDX. Our normally our startups nu both promote thaya tha last 1 year ni andar. They have been promoted a lot. So this is a platform which has been analyzed now કે આપણે આ વેબિનારથી આઉટરીચ કરી શકશું, right? So this is again a technology which we are using today in startups and in creating education through the society and for the society, right? So this is how innovation takes place. And I cannot say this is a pure innovation, but this is the use of technology in innovating something, like in innovating the education process. So this is how your approach should be. And you have seen lot many web series in last few months on Netflix and Prime Video. That is again an example of a technological startup. A technology use kari ane લોકો ને entertain કઈ રીતે કરવા. You have seen cinema halls અને gym છે, swimming pool છે, restaurants, they are closed. But yes, people need entertainment. People need motivation to live in this pandemic. So Netflix and Prime Video, what they both did was they tried to create web series which influence the family behavior and which influence the relationship between parents and the children. So there are many web series, if you see, it is based on a social cause, right? So you can have an overview of those web series and you can enjoy your day. So this is basically providing entertainment through technology. So this is how the innovation takes place. And believe me, the owners and the founders of Netflix and Prime Video, those are psychologists, those are not engineers, right? So they try to learn the psychology of people and then they try to invest their money in making this sort of technology to provide entertainment to the people. So agar apne entertainment ni baat kariye, if we talk about technology in 21st century, so there are many startups you can try to create for entertaining people. It is not just about watching videos or else Instagram reels or Snapchat or maybe any of the stories. It is more about implementing the technology to benefit the society out of that. So if you see at the down, these are the startups which are already been there in India since last several years. Lenskart બધા નામ સાંભળ્યું હશે. So if you want to buy a frame, if you want to buy your glasses or shades, you go to lenskart.com and you try various frames. So this is based on a machine learning and an artificial based technology જ્યાં આગળ તમે પોતાનો ચહેરો જોઈ શકો છો, right? કે આ frame પહેરીશું તો આપણે કેવા લાગશું, how we will look in this frame. So you can relate technology in creating something new for people where આવું પહેલા થોડા વર્ષો પહેલા કોઈ વિચાર્યું પણ નહોતું કે આવી એક ટેકનોલોજી આવશે કે આપણે પોતાને જોઈ શકશું કે આપણે કેવા લાગે, right? And that too virtually, ઘરે બેઠા. And then you select the frame and then you order. So this is how the motivation of using technology in the field of education maybe and in the field of entertainment and making life easier for the people came up. And Zomato and Swiggy are most famous applications which we all use. Now we all know that Uber Eats has been taken over by Zomato. Why? Due to more number of increasing participants on Zomato. So that is the case, and these are the technological startups which has built up. So this is all about technology. But what about the current pandemic situation? So in last 1 year, these are the two startups which have already been came up in last 1 year. The first, if I talk about, is M-Fine, right? So this is a startup which helps doctors to talk with senior person for the telemedicine. And the second startup, which is iClinic, which provides consultation directly with a doctor. So this is the first is a telemedicine startup where, for example, if a patient is at home and if he's not suffering well, or else if he is not feeling well, for example એને તાવ જેવું લાગે છે, so he or she can update their reports on an application, a mobile application. અને એ એપ્લિકેશનમાં જે રિપોર્ટ અપલોડ કર્યો હશે, it will go to n number of senior doctors, અને દરેક senior doctorની advice પછી the application will try to give you some sort of output in result. You can say that advice that tamare શું કરવું જોઈએ, which medicines to take and which are the precautions you need to take care of. So the first startup MFine was based on telemedicine. If I talk more specifically about the research which is going in United States, it is about using telemedicine in autism. Autism એક ડિસઓર્ડર છે જેની અંદર જે બાળક જન્મ લે છે એ જન્મથી જ થોડું he has a he is physically challenged, right? So એ ઘણીવાર ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ માથું હલાવે તો એક સાથે 10 વાર હલાવે, બટ એને સેન્સ ના આવે, right? એ બ્રેનમાં એ સબકોન્શિયસ માઇન્ડમાં એને સેન્સ ના પહોંચે. So over here telemedicine plays a huge important role. એક startup which has already been defined and which is on a face કે એક સ્માર્ટ વોચ એક કંપની બનાવે છે જેની અંદર એ કંપની ડિટેક્ટ કરે કે how a child behaves or how a patient behaves, અને એ જે બિહેવિયર છે એના ક્લિનિશિયન છે કાં તો એના ફિઝિશિયનને રેગ્યુલર બેઝિસ પર અપડેટ કરે. And after updating the physician, it also update to the caretakers. Caretakers means parents of the children. So this sort of startup and this sort of approach should be developed to solve to solve the problems of the society, to solve the problems of physically challenged people. So this is a startup in United States which is developing a smartwatch. So this is one of the approach we all should build in this pandemic situation to help doctors, to paramedical staff, to help the patients, and to save our country from the pandemic. So this is a very good startup which I am connected to MFine, and the second startup is iClinic. So over here, if you want to chat with a doctor, so this is like a chat bot basically. So if you want to chat with a doctor and a doctor ne તમારે કંઈ પૂછવું છે, so you need not to call the doctor every time. તમારે દર વખતે ફોન કરીને બોલાવવાની જરૂર નહીં. You can have virtual appointments. Virtual appointments means જેમ આપણે આ જે વર્ચ્યુઅલી ભેગા થયા છે એવી રીતે you can have a virtual appointment with a doctor અને તમે તમારા problems doctor સાથે describe કરી શકો. And doctor can find a solution and can suggest some remedies to cure those problems. So technology has been so blessed and so it has been boon to us in this pandemic situation that આપણે ખાલી approach બદલવાની જરૂર છે કે આપણે ટેકનોલોજી કયા ફિલ્ડમાં અને કઈ રીતે ઉપયોગ કરી શકીએ. So this is how the the horizon of telemedicine has taken place in India since last couple of years. But in United States, if you see, it has been there since last n number of years. So this is how this both are the startups of India and this are doing really well. So all the credit goes to MFine and iClinic to develop their own technological startups in the field of COVID-19. So second approach in this pandemic situation to overcome this pandemic situation is using technology to to detect if you see the first picture, it is monitoring that people are following social distancing or not. So this is artificial intelligence. The code has been built on Python, and this has been processed through machine learning methods. So we are using machine learning and we are using artificial intelligence to detect that if a person is wearing a mask, if you see at the bottom side, if a person is maintaining social distancing, अगर एक रोड ऊपर લોકો જઈ રહ્યા છે ઘણા બધા તો એ લોકોની વચ્ચે એક specific amount of distance છે કે નહીં. So you have those integrated cameras, those integrated sensors which detects that the social distancing has been followed or not. So this is the application of technology in the pandemic. You can think of, you can also create Python codes, you can also create a machinery or a software, something like this, which approaches to the problem of large number of people. So આજે કોઈ gathering થાય છે તો the health ministers or else the health authorities can monitor that social distancing is been followed or not. અને કદાચ ભૂલથી ના થતું હોય, so they can step in and they can take the necessary actions so that we can save our country from this crisis. So these are the few applications of how the approach should be using technology in this pandemic. If you see on the right hand side, this is a chest image, and this is I am doing specifically research on this topic over here at United States, that કે આપણી જોડે એક remote area ની અંદર, if we don't have that much of medical facilities available, and if we don't have that much of doctors, we can have this system in a way કે if we have an x-ray, અગર આપણી જોડે x-ray છે તો આ સોફ્ટવેર એક એવું અમે લોકો ડેવલપ કરીએ છીએ જેની અંદર if we scan an x-ray scan થયા પછી it will detect that it is a viral fever, it is a bacterial pneumonia, it is a COVID, if the patient is COVID, and how intense the COVID is. So if you see the loss, if you see the accuracy, you can predict that it is 96.67% we have got out of that. So this, we are not saying that this will replace doctors or this will replace radiologists, but this will assist radiologists in quantifying the results. આ રેડિયોલોજીસ્ટની મદદરૂપ થઈ શકે કે એ પોતે પ્રેડિક્શન કરતા હોય અને આ સોફ્ટવેર થ્રુ પ્રેડિક્શન જનરેટ થાય, so they can see the accuracy of their predictions, અને ક્યાંક કઈ ભૂલ થતી હોય તો they can take necessary steps at the very next time. So this helps to assist the radiologist in identifying if a patient has viral fever, bacterial pneumonia, or else he or she is a normal patient, or if it is suffering from COVID. So a step પર અગર આપણને ખબર પડી જાય CT scan કરવાના અને x-ray લીધા પછી, so we can predict this in a much better way. So this is how the approach should be for using technology since last couple of years, what we are doing and what we should do in the years to come using technology. So this is how we are moving ahead. So let me say something about incubation. So this is how you already know about innovations and startups, but what about incubation centers? You have an idea, you have everything, but how you can incubate in your own university. So if you see this slide, there are 4 different points which have been covered by incubation centers. So these are the facilities which have been provided at the Saurashtra University SSIP incubation cell. So and if you register in any of the incubation cells, these are the opportunities you get. The first is mentoring, which is a most important step in startups and entrepreneurship, because you need guidance from the people who are already in the industry, who have the startups and who can help you develop your startup. The second is the incubation space. શરૂઆતની અંદર તમારી જોડે એટલું બધું ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ ના હોય કે તમે પોતાની ઓફિસ કરી શકો, right? So you can have some sort of incubation space, some shared incubation space. Incubation space નો મતલબ તમને એક ઓફિસ એરિયા આપે, પણ તમે તમારા ઘણા બધા કલીગ્સ જોડે સાથે મળીને એ ઓફિસ એરિયા શેર કરો. So that is called an incubation space. So you can have a shared incubation space over there. You can have industry experts session. If you for example, if you are a product-based industry, or else if you are a service-based industry, તમે કોઈ product કે service develop કરી, but તમારે એનું patenting જોઈએ છે અને તમને patentingનું knowledge નથી. So your incubation center can provide you the guidance on how to patent your product or how to patent your service, જેથી કરીને તમે જ્યારે માર્કેટમાં તમારો આઈડિયા લોન્ચ કરો તો તમારો આઈડિયા કોઈ ચોરી ના શકે. And the last and foremost is, sir, બધું બરાબર, પણ પૈસા ક્યાંથી આવશે, right? So the important thing is funding opportunities. So we will see in the next slides that how funding opportunities can, you can have the funding opportunities with these incubation centers and with the government of Gujarat and government of India both. So let us move ahead, and I'll describe in very short that what is the process of incubation. So first is the idea submission. Idea submission નો મતલબ એ થાય કે આજે તમારી જોડે કોઈ આઈડિયા છે કે આપણે સ્ટાર્ટઅપ આની ઉપર ડેવલપ કરવું છે, કે આપણે સ્ટાર્ટઅપ we have this idea અને આની ઉપર બિઝનેસ કરવો છે. So the first is idea generation. એક આઈડિયા આવવો જોઈએ. And the second is the idea submission. Submission નો મતલબ એ ના થાય કે આજે તમે જઈને કોઈને એક પેન પેપર પર લખી નાખો. Submission નો મતલબ એ થાય કે આજે તમે એક પ્રોપર બિઝનેસ મોડેલ કેનવાસ ડેવલપ કરો. એ તમે ગૂગલ કરશો તમને ખ્યાલ આવશે કે શું હોય બિઝનેસ મોડેલ કેનવાસ, અને એની અંદર તમે તમારા સ્ટાર્ટઅપના અલગ અલગ પેરામીટર્સ મેચ કરો કે આજે ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ મારા ઇન્વેસ્ટર્સ કોણ હશે, મારી જે પ્રોડક્ટ છે એ કોણ લેશે મારી જોડેથી, હું ક્યાંથી આ રો મટીરિયલ પરચેસ કરીશ, વોટ આર ધ બેનિફિટ્સ, વોટ આર ધી એડવાન્ટેજીસ, ડિસએડવાન્ટેજીસ, બધું તમે એક ચાર્ટ પેપર પર ડિફાઇન કરો. સો દેટ ઇઝ કોલ્ડ એઝ એન આઈડિયા સબમિશન. So first step to any of the startup entrepreneurs is write down your business model canvas and try to show it to your faculty members. તમે તમારા કલીગ્સ છે કે તમારા ફેકલ્ટી છે, તમારા કોઓર્ડિનેટર્સ છે, એને જઈને તમે તમારો આઈડિયા શેર કરો. બિલીવ મી, એવું ક્યારે પણ નથી હોતું કે શેર કરેલો આઈડિયા ચોરાઈ જાય છે. It is all upon you how confident you are, how determined you are to develop those ideas into a business model. So this is the first step you do in idea submission. The second step is idea evaluation. So evaluation નો મતલબ એવો ના થાય કે ખાલી તમારો આઈડિયા સારો છે કે નહીં એ ડિસ્ક્રાઇબ કરો. તમારો આઈડિયા સારો હોય પણ એ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ જર્ની છે તમારી, કાં તો તમે યુ આર ગોઈંગ ઇન ધ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ જર્ની ઇન ધ 21st સેન્ચુરી, તો આ તમે જે પ્રોડક્ટ ડેવલપ કરી છે એ માર્કેટમાં કેટલી ફિઝેબલ છે, એટલે આજે તમે આ માર્કેટમાં મૂકશો તો કેટલા લોકો પરચેસ કરશે. સો યુ ગેટ ઇવેલ્યુએટેડ ધોઝ પેરામીટર્સ બાય ધ ઇન્ક્યુબેટર મેનેજમેન્ટ. જે સૌરાષ્ટ્ર યુનિવર્સિટીમાં SSIP ઇન્ક્યુબેશન સેલ છે એની અંદર જે ઇન્ક્યુબેશન મેનેજમેન્ટ છે, જે પ્રોફેસર્સ છે, જે ફેકલ્ટી મેમ્બર્સ છે, જે કોઓર્ડિનેટર્સ છે, એ લોકો ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી જોડે કામ કરી રહ્યા છે. સો દે નો કે તમારો આઈડિયા કઈ રીતે ફિઝિએબલ છે અને હાઉ કેન યુ ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટ યોર આઈડિયા ઇન્ટુ ધ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી. સો યુ ગેટ ઇવેલ્યુએટેડ બાય ધ ઇન્ક્યુબેશન મેનેજમેન્ટ. એ થયા પછી યુ ટ્રાય ટુ પિચ યોર બિઝનેસ આઈડિયા. આ બધું થઈ ગયું, તમે તમારું મોડેલ ડેવલપ કર્યું, તમારું ઇન્ક્યુબેશન ઇવેલ્યુએશન થઈ ગયું કે યસ યુ કેન બિલ્ડ ધીસ પ્રોડક્ટ ઓર સર્વિસ. આ પ્રોડક્ટ કે સર્વિસ ડેવલપ કરવાથી યુ કેન સ્ટાર્ટ યોર ઓન બિઝનેસ એન્ડ એન એન્ટરપ્રાઇઝ. પછી થાય, ધીસ ઇઝ અ વેરી ચેલેન્જિંગ ટાસ્ક, દેટ રિપ્રેઝેન્ટ યોર આઈડિયા ઇન જસ્ટ 1 minute. તમે ક્યારે પણ એન્જલ ઇન્વેસ્ટર્સ કાં તો ક્યારે પણ પ્રોફેસર્સ જોડે જાઓ તો યુ પિચ યોર બિઝનેસ આઈડિયા, ટ્રાય ટુ પિચ યોર બિઝનેસ આઈડિયા ઇન 1 minute. 1 minute પિચ તૈયાર કરો કે 1 મિનિટમાં તમે તમારું આખું બિઝનેસ મોડેલ છે એ તમે કોઈને સમજાવી શકો. બિકોઝ ઇફ યુ ગો ટુ એન્જલ ઇન્વેસ્ટર્સ, ઇફ યુ ગો ટુ વેન્ચર કેપિટાલિસ્ટ, દે ડોન્ટ હેવ મચ ટાઈમ, રાઈટ? તમારે જેવા બહુ બધા લોકો એ લોકોની જોડે આઈડિયા પિચ કરવા આવ્યા હોય. સો ટ્રાય ટુ હેવ અ પિચિંગ પ્રેક્ટિસ વિથ યોર કલીગ્સ, with your professors, with your coordinators or with your mentors. So એના માટે એક્સપર્ટ્સ ઘણા બધા અવેલેબલ છે SSIP ઇન્ક્યુબેશન સેન્ટરમાં. સો ઇફ યુ વિઝિટ ઇટ વન્સ આફ્ટર ધ પેન્ડેમિક, અને ઓનલાઈન પણ અગર તમને મદદ મળી શકે તો યુ કેન સ્ટાર્ટ having your pitching session with the experts. After that, the pre-incubation stage. What is pre-incubation stage? Because it is basically a stage where you develop your business idea into a scale કે જ્યાં આગળ તમે you try to launch it into a market. So pre-incubation ની સ્ટેજની અંદર તમારો આઈડિયા જે છે એને કઈ રીતે તમે ઇવેલ્યુએટ કરશો બિઝનેસ ડેવલપમેન્ટની અંદર, રાઈટ? વોટ આર તમારી માર્કેટિંગ સ્ટ્રેટેજી શું હશે, તમારું ફિનાન્સ મોડલ શું હશે, who would be your customers, who would be your employees, who would be your target investors. So એ બધું ડિસ્કશન થાય પ્રી ઇન્ક્યુબેશન સ્ટેજની અંદર. આ બધું થઈ ગયા પછી, રાઈટ, કે આ થઈ ગયા પછી what exactly you want to start up as your project. અને the fifth stage is the incubation stage. આ બધી પ્રોસેસ પતી ગયા પછી you start sitting at the incubation center. તમે ઇન્ક્યુબેટ થાઓ ઇન્ક્યુબેશન સેન્ટરની અંદર અને તમે તમારું પ્રોડક્ટ કે સર્વિસ ડેવલપ કરો. After developing your product and service, you try to evaluate through market testing trainings, right? So what exactly is market testing? કે તમે આજે કોઈ પ્રોડક્ટ કે સર્વિસ ડેવલપ કરો તો you give the product or service free to colleagues. અગર હું રિલેટ કરું તો જ્યારે જીઓ લોન્ચ થયું હતું તો સિમ કાર્ડ્સ બધાને ફ્રીમાં મળતા હતા, રાઈટ? અને ત્યારે ઇન્ટરનેટ 4G જ્યારે લોન્ચ થયું તો everyone was getting some sort of data or some sort of bandwidth free of cost. So this is a market testing method કે લોકો કેટલું તમારો આઈડિયા કે તમારી સર્વિસ એક્સેપ્ટ કરે છે. So you try to evaluate yourself, your services or your products. અને એની અંદર ડેવલપમેન્ટ કર્યા પછી you start selling those Jio SIM cards, that is your service or your product, into a market at a graduation stage, the last stage આપણે કહીએ છીએ. And then this is a whole process of how entrepreneurship, the ideas, the generation of the idea to the incubation and then the business model of your company or your startup. So this is just a general information. If you go in much depth, you will find many experts who can help you out defining all this on a very particular stage. એન્ડ ઘણા બધા એક્સપર્ટ્સ એવા છે જે રેગ્યુલર ઇન્ટરેક્શન પણ તમારી જોડે કરશે એન્ડ they can be your board of advisors as well in your company. So what you have to do, so this is a very ground level work કે આ બધું સાંભળ્યા પછી શું અમારે ક્યાં જવાનું અને કઈ રીતે અપ્રોચ કરવાનો. So this is how you start approaching Saurashtra University. So you go to the website, Student Startup Innovation Policy, type SSIP space SAU, that is Saurashtra University, right? So આ તમારું વેબસાઇટ ઓપન થશે, you get a pop-up અને ત્યાં આગળ એક ફોર્મ હશે. You try to fill out the form. એની અંદર બેઝિક ડિટેલ્સ તમારા સ્ટાર્ટઅપ વિશે હશે કે તમારો આઈડિયા શું છે, તમે કઈ રીતે ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટ કરવા માંગો છો, એન્ડ વોટ ઇઝ યોર પ્લાન. યુ હેવ ટુ ડિસ્ક્રાઇબ ધેટ. And then you go to the committee members list and try to approach some faculties or some coordinators over there. તમે ત્યાં coordinatorsને approach કરો through email and try to share your documents with those coordinators, and they can help you out incubating at SSIP Saurashtra University Center. So this is how the ground level approach takes place. કોઈ આઈડિયા કે કોઈ પ્રોડક્ટ ડેવલપ કરવી હોય, કોઈ સર્વિસ બેઝ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી તમારે પ્લાન હોય, કોઈ આઈટી કંપની સ્ટાર્ટ કરવી છે, કાં તો કોઈ પ્રોડક્ટ ડેવલપ કરવી છે. સો ટ્રાય ટુ ફ્રેમ આઉટ ઇન અ વે કે એક ફિઝિએબલ યુનિવર્સિટી સાથે તમે ટાઈડ અપ હો ઇન્ક્યુબેશન સેન્ટર માટે, એન્ડ યુ ટ્રાય ટુ ગેટ ગ્રાન્ટ્સ ફ્રોમ સ્ટુડન્ટ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ ઇનોવેશન પોલિસી, નીતિ આયોગ એન્ડ મેની અધર ઇન્ક્યુબેશન એજન્સીસ. એ લોકો તમને ફંડ કરશે તમારા સ્ટાર્ટઅપ માટે. સો નાઉ ધી મોસ્ટ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ થિંગ કમ્સ ઇઝ ફંડિંગ. So what exactly is funding and our fund ક્યાંથી આવે છે? So there are 3 agencies normally universities are tied up and many more as per the MOUs and as per the documentations they have. The first is Student Startup Innovation Policy. So Student Startup Innovation Policy અંતર્ગત તમારો આઈડિયા કે તમારો સ્ટાર્ટઅપ હોય, so university will support your idea and your startup and give you funding out of that. ફંડિંગ નો મતલબ બે અલગ અલગ દિશામાં થાય. The first funding is something which is non-refundable, જે તમારે પૈસા પાછા નથી આપવાના. And second is they give loan to you for having your own startup into the market. બીજી બાજુનું the second is they give you loans, તમને લોન આપે છે. So SSIP જે છે, Student Startup Innovation Policy, they help you for the non-refundable funding. તમે આજે કોઈ ફંડ તમને અલોટ થયું SSIP દ્વારા, સો એ ફંડ તમારે ઓફકોર્સ યુ હેવ ટુ કીપ રેકોર્ડ્સ, યુ હેવ ટુ પ્રૂવ that where have you used those funds. તમારે ડોક્યુમેન્ટેશન બનાવવું પડે, but that is non-refundable. So you go to SSIP Saurashtra University Center, you fill out a form, અને અગર તમારું સ્ટાર્ટઅપ ઇવેલ્યુએશન પછી if you get incubated over there and if you get funds from Student Startup Innovation Policy, so you can utilize those funds for developing your product or else for developing your service. અને એ ઇનિશિયલ ફંડ્સથી you step up into a market. એવું નથી કે તમને 5 વર્ષ સુધી મળ્યા કરશે. એક તમારું સ્ટેજ આવી ગયું કે where you can start developing your products, એક બેઝલાઇન બની ગઈ, then they will stop funding you and they will fund other startups. કે તમે એક established business થઈ ગયું છે, now you try to manufacture those products, try to have those services on board and try to sell it to the people and then try to earn. So the first approach is approaching Student Startup Innovation Policy. The second approach is going to Startup Gujarat website. Startup Gujarat ની અંદર પણ તમે અગર if you register, you get whole sort of mentorship, you get list of incubators, you get list of nodal institutes, mentors, and you find all sort of helps at Startup Gujarat as well. And the third is Startup India. You can also register with Startup India and you can have many benefits from the government of India, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, right? So this is a baseline on how to, have your own startup into the competitive market. But the first important thing is go to SSIP Center at Saurashtra University and try to explore your idea to the committee members over there. એ લોકો તમને ગાઈડ કરશે કે તમારે આને રિફ્રેમ કઈ રીતે કરવો અને how to regenerate your thoughts and regenerate your thinking process in business to have your ideas in the competitive world of 21st century. So this is a very first step. This webinar, this is enlightenment for you. You try to think of something about you can help to your country, you can help to India, our own country in this pandemic time, and you can have your own startup sitting at your home. ક્યાંય જવાની જરૂર નથી, ઘરે બેસીને તમે આ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ કરો. એવા thought process generate કરવા જોઈએ using technology, using the experiences of people who are already there, using the experiences of SSIP committee members, coordinators, and you all can together form and a whole journey where you can help the fellow mates to grow up in their own business and startups. So this was something about incubation, innovation, and funding opportunities for startups. And yes, I'm open to each and every question, and we can have more further discussion on these topics as well. But this is a baseline approach on how you can use technology, or else how you can implement technology in the current pandemic situation. E-commerce, again, it is a very big market, and તમે પોતાની સર્વિસ કે તમારા પોતાના પ્રોડક્ટ્સ પોતાની વેબસાઇટ બનાવી, and you can launch those products and you can sell it online. What you have to do, you just have to tie up with the manufacturer, you just have to tie up with the logistics partner, and you just have to market your idea and sell your products. તો એક તમારું ઓનલાઈન વેબસાઇટ, ઈ-કોમર્સ પ્લેટફોર્મ બનશે, એની ઉપર પ્રોડક્ટ કોઈ બીજાને ત્યાંથી જશે, ડિસ્પેચ કોઈ બીજું કરશે, અને એક એન્ડ કસ્ટમર સુધી એ પ્રોડક્ટ પહોંચશે, અને વચ્ચે you earn money out of that. So this is how e-commerce startups takes place in the era of 21st century. And I'm highly motivated by the enthusiastic participation today Saurashtra University has with the SSIP Incubation Center, and they have participated since I have heard that the participants are from 4 or 5 different countries. So thank you so much once again, Professor Nikesh sir, Mehul sir, Chintan bhai, Mashmi ma'am, and all the dignitaries for giving me an opportunity to speak to the young fellow mates about incubation, innovation, and startups. So I highly appreciate any questions, and I hand over the session to the coordinators. Thank you so much once again, and have a good day.
Thank you, Arshad bhai, for this very informative, starting from very basics to the funding opportunities for the startups. Now there are some few questions. If you permit, then we would take those questions quickly.
Yes, please.
The first question is, sir, how to determine that it is the right time to ask for seeking help or mentorship for startup supporting institutions? Which is the right time to approach that? At which stage?
According to my experiences and according to the experiences I have studied so far, if you have an idea, if you have a very good startup plan, I think the very first stage is try to describe your idea to your fellow mates, try to explore your idea to the incubation center. So at least you can come to know that is there any startup already working on those ideas, or else how different is your startup, or else how innovative is your startup from the existing ones. So I think if you have an idea, the very first step you should take is to discuss idea with the incubation centers.
We take the next question. The question is, if any person have an idea for making an application or software, but person does not have any particular skill for making that particular application or so, then how to get help for that startup?
Very nice question, Chintan bhai. So if you are from non-technical background and if you want to develop your own software, so you can contact incubation centers. So there is an MOU between various IT companies and incubation centers which will help you to build your own software at a very economical rate than which is going on in the market, and they will provide a right guidance to you. Or else you can go to any of the IT companies and you can approach for help. The best part is try to approach to the incubation centers at university so that you can get advantages and you can get benefits of the economical rate and right guidance. That is very specific, because if you step out into the market, there are chances that people may fool you or people may cheat you, taking more money out of your pocket. So I think you should approach the incubation centers for that.
We would take one more question. The question is, I have learned that many startups like Hike and etc. has failed due to some due to some financial crisis. then how to overcome financial crisis in our own small startups?
I think this is again a very nice question. So, financial crisis is an internal part of how you approach to funding investors, or how you approach to, the agencies which fund you. But the first and foremost thing is try to utilize as much fund as you can and try to develop your own startup. The second important thing is try to have track of each and every expense you make in your startups, so that you can prove to investors that you have utilized those funds for the development of your product or services. The third most important thing is try to evaluate your price in the market and try to evaluate how economical is it compared to the other startups. So it will help you to support your case in utilizing funds which you have already got. And the fourth most important thing is try to think 10 times before spending money on any of the product or services you purchase from the market, or any of the money you spend. You can have financial advisors, you can have financial experts in your team, you can have your professors as team leaders, and you can build a team wherein people guide you on how to utilize finance for your own startups. If you are not from the commerce background, if you are not aware about how to have the expenditure in your startups, if you are aware about that, is totally fine. But if you are not, you can make a team wherein each and everyone has their own expertise, and they can guide you and they can help you build your startup in more good and economical way.
Thank you so much, Harshal Bhai, for this answering all the questions. Now, I think our third speaker would not be joining us for some medical reasons, medical emergency. So now, once again, on behalf of Saurashtra University, I thank all our speakers, Mr. Ranga Reddy sir and Mr. Harshal Bhai Sanghvi. And now I hand over once again to Moshmi ma'am for the further process.
Thank you, Chintan sir. As Chintan sir said, due to some medical reasons, our third speaker, Dr. Omkar Sharma, will not be able to join us today. So sorry for the inconvenience caused, but we will definitely reach him and see his views about innovation and startups in our future seminars and webinars. So now, as we are approaching towards the end of this webinar, I would like to thank all the speakers who have given their valuable time to motivate us for making our innovative ideas into the final product, as well as lamplighting how we can introduce our innovations into the market and be the entrepreneurs. So I would also like to thank all the guests, faculties, and dignitaries to make this webinar a very resounding success. Furthermore, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our Computer Center to help us making this event live on YouTube and Facebook, and at last all the coordinators for our thought-provoking webinar. Once again, thank you so much all. And with this, we finished today's webinar, and I would like to request all to please stand up to your places wherever you are for the national anthem. Please, everyone.